we go. The New York Knicks take on Boston tonight in Game 1 of the Eastern Conference semifinals. Boston is favored by 9.5 points. So, Perk, Swagoo, it's time for some motivation right here on a part of the New York Knicks, okay? You got to D up. You got to D up. You're a Tom Thibodeau team, okay? You can't 25 points a game. You can't be giving up 130 per 100 possessions. You can't be getting outscored by an average of 16 points a game. You got to D up, okay? Yes, skill, offensively. Karl Anthony Towns, you got to keep doing what you're doing. Just be more assertive. Big body Brunson, you got to be that dude. That's what the star of New York does, okay? Yo, OG Anunoby, no more 13% shooting for three-point range. If you can't make them, don't shoot them. Go to the damn hole with your big side body self. Draw some fouls. You Mikal Bridges. Damn it, they gave up 4 unprotected first-round picks for you. What you gonna do? What you gonna do, okay? So that's important, all right? Tom Thibodeau, I mean, get innovative. Schematically, do something different, like my man Big Perk says. But most importantly than anything else, pray. Pray. You understand that somehow, some way, you don't get annihilated, all right? Yo, Jason Tatum, you know what? You're a good-looking dude. You're a star in this league. You're a champion. Could you be nice? You ain't got to average 34 points on the New York Knicks. Try to be a little nice. Jaylen Brown, don't try to rub it in. Don't get all world now. You understand what I'm saying? Be average, damn it. Lower your production a little bit. Make it a series. But the New York Knicks, the fans got to stand up. We got to travel to Boston. We got to be at Madison Square Garden. We got to look Big Perk in the face. Say, we know you've been with us. Don't desert us now. You got to look at Swagoo. You got to say, yo, we need you, baby. We need everybody. We need everybody. We need everybody. That is what we got to do. It's about New York, baby. It's in New York City. Even if you go down sweep Lakers in 5 games in the first round, and will now take on the Warriors in the conference semifinals. Anthony Edwards has now eliminated Kevin Durant, Nikola Jokic, LeBron James, and Luka Doncic in the last 2 postseasons, and will turn his attention to the greatest shooter God has ever created, Curry, and of course Jimmy Buckets in the next round. What will winning this series say about Ant-Man, Big Perk?
Everything. He's already loved by the world, right? You see him on every commercial, right? The hood loves him. He's every former player, favorite player. Not only is he going to go out there and get you work, and not only is he growing right in front of our eyes as far as being a leader, making guys around him better, but after he wins, you're going to hear about it, and it's going to be funny. What do he say? Ant-Man, Superman, Batman, Lakers in 5. I mean, you can't make it up. And you know what? Right. He's not ducking no smoke. No smoke. He's disrespectful.
On either side of the ball.
In a good way. Yeah, in a good way to the ones above him. You saw him going there, Braun. Yeah, Braun, outside the lines, we cool. In between these lines, we going to war. That's what you love.
Swagoo?
You know what we love? You know what we love? He ain't scared. He ain't scared of nothing. It don't matter to him. He plays basketball the same way, whether it's in Peru, Brazil, America, the NBA, the CBA, whatever it is, he hooping the same way, challenging all of the old heads, because we need a new guard. We need somebody to take the mantle. And I know we talked about face of the league and all of that. That is Ant Edwards because of how he goes about doing it. He's already done phenomenal work in the playoffs, by the way. But to potentially win the championship and knock off Steph Curry, it continues to build not only that resume, it builds that energy that we need around a guy that we can look at in the NBA and say, yeah, we can get after this. This gonna bring people eyes to the NBA. This is gonna put butts in the seat. And Stephen A, you talk about it all the time. It's not only that Ant Edwards is a really good hooper that's transitioned into a great hooper. He's somebody that the world can follow the game behind. I love the dude. We've been loving him for a long time. Me and Perk talked about him on the podcast a couple of years ago.
Let me put y'all both on the spot. I'll start with you, real quick, Swagoo. Who's the most exciting player?
Back on Get Up, and it is time for an NBA edition of D's Notes. Here we go. We got the Knicks and Celtics beginning a playoff series tonight, and to say that the regular season series was lopsided would not be giving it all its due. The Celtics won all 4 games, and they won by an average of 16 points a game. They averaged 21 threes in the 4-game season sweep. So we're looking for reasons to think that the Knicks can make this into a series. Can you give us one, Jay Williams?
I'll say this. Look, this series isn't about Jalen Brunson. It's not about Karl Anthony Towns. It's not about Mikal Bridges. It's about Tibbs. And it's about if Tibbs can actually change from his old school rigidity to modern flexibility. And if he can't, then maybe he's not the right guy for the job moving forward. And I talk about the way you defend, right? The traditional things that typically when you get back in transition, you protect the rim. You can't do that against Boston. They're making 21 threes on 43% shooting. You have to flare out to the three-point line, right? When you go over a screen, blitz it, you got to rotate out to the outside. You give up twos and you don't get beat by threes. You can't beat Boston by grinding. You have to beat Boston by evolving. And I want to see if Tibbs, if his strategy can be evolved. Everybody has the Boston Celtics winning. We think they're a better team. But this strategy is going to be so imperative, and the execution of the strategy will determine if the Knicks have a legitimate chance to stay in it.
Shanae, what do you think?
It's not just about Tibbs, it's also about Josh Hart. Because if we're going to talk about strategies that can help benefit the Knicks, Josh Hart has to knock down threes. Over the course of the regular season, he shot 33% from three. So what have the Celtics done? They've let him shoot. They typically guard him with the center. It's Porzingis, it's Cornette, or it's Horford that are guarding Josh Hart because they can really muck things up sagging off of him. So it's going to be interesting to see if Josh Hart brings his shot, which, by the way, he's 7 for 14, 50% shooting from three. If he carries that through, the Knicks will be more competitive.
Windman, you are, well, depending on the weather, either taking a train or a plane up to Boston today.
LaGuardia's closed.
Look, okay.
Big news came in yesterday by the Celtics and nobody noticed it. They released their injury report and it was empty. No Drew Holiday with the hamstring, no Jason Tatum with the wrist, no Jaylen Brown with the knee. They're rested, they're healthy, they're 20-4 in the playoffs over the last 2 seasons. No one's gotten them to game 6. Forget about taking them to game 7. No one's gotten them to game 6. I could ask Hembo when the last time a coach got the Knicks to the second round in back-to-back years, but I know it. It's 30 years ago, Pat Riley. I see all these people here in New York complaining about Tibbs. I realize it's not perfect. I realize the Knicks are not perfect. They are no business being in this series. Jason Tatum averaged 34 points a game against them. If they get this series to 6, you should have a virtual ticker tape parade. I am just saying they are not equipped. Assuming Boston stays healthy, they are not equipped to compete in this series. They take a game, they play these games into the fourth quarters, they will have done well. I'm just being honest.
Can I draw your attention, if I may, to a game that was played on April 8th? Now, I understand that by that time, this was the very end of the regular season. The Celtics, well, candidly, the Celtics and the Knicks were sort of locked into their playoff positioning. We talk about the 16-point average margin of victory. A lot of that was skewed by a major blowout at the beginning, and the Knicks really were not healthy in almost any of their matchups. I'm just trying to make a little bit of an argument here. In a game in which Jason Tatum played 48 minutes, Porzingis played 39, Holiday played, Derek White played, Jaylen Brown only played 22 minutes. But the Celtics beat the Knicks by 2 points, 119-117, in a very close game at the end. Is there any way that I could make an argument that maybe that game will be a little more indicative of how competitive we might expect this series to be?
Yes, and I agree. They will not be a 16-point differential in these games. But yes, the Celtics are the heavy favorites here. And if they get it to 6, they will have done a great job.
Do we have the picks up? I think we have pick bars up here, right? Can we see what? Go ahead, Jay Will.
They still gave up an average of 120 points in all 4 of their games.
Right.
Like that's a significant issue. I hear what people are talking about, obviously scoring. Yes, you need to do that. But defensively is what the real challenge is with the versatility that Boston provides.
Look, the way you beat this is really, I hate to say it this way. There's only 2 ways the Celtics lose. One is that they get hurt, which I don't want to speak into existence, but obviously there's a history of injury proneness, particularly regarding Porzingis. And the second is you got to hope they're cold a bunch of nights, right? They're going to get looks. They're going to get looks from 3.
Yes. And they will be cold.
Right.
And I think, honestly, the Knicks' game plan is get the game to the fourth quarter.
Right.
Because you have Brunson, and one of the ways you do that, they traded for Karl Towns to take advantage or at least have a matchup for Porzingis.
Right.
If Porzingis had a very poor first-round series, but by his standards, he didn't play well. If Towns trounces Porzingis, that can close down the gap. But you know it's not going to be. They have Al Horford. They have different things they can do. they could put a smaller player on Karl Towns. But you need Towns to dominate if you're the Knicks, in addition to Brunson being great in the fourth quarter.
Okay, so our second D's note involves Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
What's your favorite team? Comment below, and if you like the video, please leave a like. This really helps the channel grow and brings you even more content. Oh, and if you're not subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Click the subscribe button and activate the bell to receive all notifications. With each game, we noticed that the NBA is getting more competitive every day, and all the teams are looking for reinforcements to win the championship. And only here can you follow your favorite team daily with incredible content from different sources. Here on the channel, there are new videos every day with analysis, curiosities, and the best moments in basketball. That's it for today, folks. Thanks for following along. The NBA doesn't stop, and neither do we. Until the next video. NBA, the passion that connects us.